What is up, guys? I'm back once again for another Ask Armin Some BS, and this time is going to be something that's kind of been in the media for the last couple days, coming from a website who I can't currently remember right now, and I don't think it's really important when we're going to talk about this. So, let's just get into the topic at hand.
I don't have a theme song, so this is a placeholder.
And before I start, let me just mention, original CBC t-shirts available on our TeePublic. Very cheap. Usually their sales, you can get them for like $6 to $8 off. So keep checking, guys. There's some amazing shirts at TeePublic. So now, let's get into the topic at hand, which is obviously the recent news report that I've seen running on a few websites talking about the reboot of the X-Men that is coming at us after X-Men Apocalypse. Now, if you guys don't know where this comes from, essentially we have a bunch of rumors that this First Class trilogy is setting to end, and that's not a rumor, we know it's ending the trilogy. They've said that multiple times. But what websites have been running around and speculating is that this is going to be the end of the X-Men as we know it. Whatever happens in Apocalypse is going to reset the entire universe and refocus it. And I'll talk about that in a little bit why I think that's bold. But they're also saying the reason they're doing this is because we are going to be getting, and I'm not making this up, a shared universe with the X-Men taking part in the MCU. No idea where this came from, so let's talk about this now. First off, there's still another X-Men movie in development. There's two, actually. There is Gambit, and there is Wolverine 3. Both of these are still in the old continuity that we know of so far. Gambit might be its own thing, like, Deadpool was, but it's still going to be the X-verse. So let's just pretend for a second that this is the case. That would mean that Deadpool would have had to have been helped already by Marvel Studios to incorporate elements of it. Helicarrier is different, there's some backtracking on that. Not happening, right? 2. The Wolverine, the third one, is still in the old continuity. It's still the same Wolverine. So why would you reboot in someone else's property, the MCU, and still have the old continuity going one separate direction? This doesn't make a whole lot of sense, does it? But now, let's talk about the logistics and the complications of this. So, hypothetically, let's say this was to happen. Who benefits from this? Tell me honestly. Marvel does not get a single penny or dime from Punisher, before someone says that in the comments. Anyway, they don't get a penny or a dime. They don't get nothing from the X-Men, okay? They get money from the comics. That's it. That's why you're not seeing a whole lot of, X-Men stuff out there, because this is a rivalry that's been going back so many years, it's hard to even trace, but it goes back all the way to Spider-Man 1 and X-Men 1, when Kevin Feige and Fox, and there was a whole issue. They actually had Hugh Jackman ready to cameo in Spider-Man. That got turned down by Fox, and from there it's been a hellstorm, and a whole slew of problems. The miracle that happened was, of course, Sony agreeing to share Spider-Man. And now, suddenly, because that's possible, people are thinking, well, it's going to happen again. Let's look at this even more logistically. Marvel and Disney hate Fox. There's a literal hatred in there between studio heads and everything. They've tried to make agreements multiple times, Marvel going to them multiple times, Fox always turning them down, letting a license not do anything until it lapses, like Daredevil. And Daredevil now is a huge success. How do you think Fox feels about that, since they're the ones that failed that franchise? Fantastic Four. Look at that. Oh, Fantastic Four movie's coming out. Wipe the Fantastic Four clean from X-Men existence, from freaking Marvel existence. They're not in the comics. They're dead in the comics. That's where we're coming from. If this deal was to happen, this would have been worked out a while ago, because they would have to be setting up for that, right? This just doesn't make any sense. And looking at it in an even deeper level, what does anybody stand to gain from this? And I understand what you're saying. Well, Sony and Marvel are doing the same thing, right? They're not sharing money. There's nothing happening. But Spidey's the poster boy, guys. That is Marvel. When you think Marvel, you think Spidey. When you think Marvel, you don't think X-Men. Maybe Wolverine to a degree, but you don't think the whole X-Men, right? Because now the Marvel forefront is Spider-Man, Captain America, Iron Man, Thor, Ant-Man, and Guardians of the Galaxy. Gone are the days of the X-Men, okay? Those guys, whether you like it or not, they're not important to Marvel anymore, okay? Because they don't own them. They don't own the most lucrative part of them, which is the movies that can print more issues, which will print more toys. And toys print money. And that's what they don't get. They don't get money because they don't want to produce the products, right? Now, when they make the Spider-Man deal, they have everything. They've always had everything now for the last couple of years, besides the movie. And granted, now they're going to oversee everything that's happening with the Spider-Man movie and kind of guide Sony's hand, and it's going to be part of the MCU. Seeing how, like, anti-going comic book Fox has been, besides Deadpool, of course, do you realistically think that Fox is going to go to Marvel and go, hey guys, we've been doing this wrong the entire time. Why don't you make our movies for us and help us and we'll just sit back? Does Fox sound like the company that has that much pride? This is the same company who still puts out videos claiming they're the home, like the best destination at home for science fiction, showing off Sarah Connor Chronicles, Terra Nova, and Firefly. 3 shows criminally canceled by them way too early. This is the type of people you're dealing with at Sony. Sony was the same way, and they're like, yeah, that's fine. The type of people you're dealing with at Fox is the type of people that don't give a crap, okay? They're by the book, and if you look at Fox, their most, creative things they do are the smaller things, which we've now recently seen with Deadpool. And look at what they've done when they try to breach out of their own vision that was established by Singer. They give it to Matthew Vaughn, and then they yank it away from him and bring Singer back. And do you guys think Marvel is going to want to get back in bed with that? When they're going to have no benefit. Not only that, Inhumans are coming. Whether you like it or not, I've talked about this issue. Whether you're a fan of the Inhumans or not, whatever it is, you can't deny that the Inhuman lore is far better than the X-Men lore. And I'm not saying that as a bias or anything. I'm just saying, when you look at the history of the X-Men, oh, what's the history of the X-Men? They're born with it. Oh, and there's the first mutant. Oh, Apocalypse? No, there's one before him. So who's the most powerful? I don't know. They tell you who's there's a new, more powerful mutant every 3 fucking weeks, right? So who's powerful? I don't know. Inhumans. Adelan, out there in space. Inhumans here. Terrigen Mist. History. Slavery. There's a whole lot. And Marvel really wants to push that because Inhumans are essentially mutants with more backstory that you can explore and more fantastical, more out there. There's space, they're the unknown, the great unknown. And that's what they want to push. And they've been pushing that so hard in the MCU. Do you think they're suddenly going to make a deal with a rival studio and go, Inhumans, get out of here. We got someone else's property now. Come on, let's be real, guys. Inhumans are here to stay. Mutants are staying at Fox. They're going to get rebooted in whatever Singer this does next, because let's be honest, they're not going to reboot without him. And we're probably going to get more black suits. Yay.
Hey guys, Armin here, just reminding you that this video was made possible thanks to patrons. If you guys are interested in supporting us and making sure we keep the lights on, check out our Patreon where you can join other fans in supporting the CBC, delivering content you guys have come to love and expect. And if you can't do that, give us a like and a subscribe. That goes a long way too.